All right. Well, this is just before you get fed, and you've had a night of only thinking and reading books, I'm sure. So thank you to the team from HEDNA for having me here. And I just want to start the presentation by making you think about 1991 for a second. And of course, those of you who know HEDNA know that that's the year HEDNA was created. It's also a year where Apple stock was worth under $1 billion. And from a Husto perspective, it was 7 years before our founder was born. So I want you to put that in perspective for a second. In fact, one of the reasons I'm here and not him is because he is a current junior at the University of Michigan Ross School of Business, and they have exams this week, which you could not miss. So that's why you have the second act here. All right, so I want to talk about Husto for a second and have you understand what we're doing. So if I want to have you think about kind of your hand, so if you put your hand like this for a second, and don't use your smartphone. That's kind of a cheap ploy to make you do that. I'm going to give you 5 things that make Husto unique. So we're going to count those 5 things down. First, before we do that, I'm going to talk about our mission. So we have a mission for our members, which is to provide our travelers unbeatable rates with uncompromised service, and also to provide a new platform for hotels. So just like 1991, if you had been at that meeting at HEDNA then and saw what is going on today in the business, it would be completely unrecognizable. And for our partners, we want to empower our hotel partners to build relationships with their guests and do what they do best, which is to provide hospitality. So I want to talk about the subscription model. Here's I'm going to start clicking down your 5 fingers here. So currently, the OTA model is built on a simple premise of commissions, which it has to be, right? Because obviously nobody's going to build a technology platform and provide you guests for free, except we do. So Husto will be the first OTA that charges 0 commissions. And the reason for that is because we're going to be doing a model much like Netflix. So our members, our community, will pay a subscription to be a member of the Husto community, and we will provide bookings to hotels with a 0 subscription, 0 commission model because of subscription. So much like Netflix completely revolutionized the way we see content, we think we can do that with Husto. I'm going to dive into a few of these other pieces here in just a second and have you kind of maybe take a picture of that so we can see where that falls in. The second piece is as technology's evolved and we experience other elements online, online shopping for anything is hinged on one concept, which is simplicity. So our driving force for Husto with our interface is simple interface as possible. So that's going to be number 2, a simple experience for our members. So all you have to do is effortlessly search hotels, select from a diverse list, and provide your perfect room. I have that highlighted because I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So this is what our interface looks like. Our technology has been built out. We have 3-click booking. The reason for that is because, remember, our community is members. So we don't ask them to sign in as an option. They're already part of our membership piece. So we have all of their data, all of their information. So when they go to book a hotel, they don't have to refill fields out because we already have that information. So they click on the trip details, click on guest information, and click on pay, and they're booked. So it's quick and simple and easy. But that's not enough. I hope that you wouldn't vote for Husto if that's all we had to offer for you. So let me show you really what makes us different. So again, aside from the dynamic interface, here's where the paradigm change, there's 2 paradigm shifts. First, the subscription model. And secondly, this idea that why do you go on a website just to book a hotel or a flight? That seems like an additional step. That isn't enough for the travelers of today. So what we're doing is merging this concept of an OTA with a social media platform, and then we use AI and machine learning to provide that perfect room. So let me dig into that just a little bit more. So our solution is called Earhart, after Amelia Earhart. That's our AI solution. And what we do is we take, much like Facebook just announced yesterday, by the way, if you ever, by the side note, if you go on Facebook, you can now look at how much data they've collected on you, and it's now being transparently served up. Don't do that if you want to have mental health, because you won't believe the stuff that they know. The good news is you can delete most of it, but then they start collecting it again. We do that in a much more advanced way. because our members are interested in finding travel experiences. So what we do is we take into account things like, I prefer Hilton, I prefer this type of room, I prefer a window, I want a hotel. It seems like when I book a hotel, it's always the last room away from the elevator, right? So maybe that's what you want, get those extra steps in before you go to sleep. It takes all those factors into account, looks at your booking data, and most importantly, finds other members that are like you and matches you with that perfect hotel room. So rather than getting the exact same ratings, rooms served up when you're searching, you get a customized search, and that's what Earhart does. This is the second piece here, which is the social media component. How many of you, when you were kids, had those maps with push pins in the wall? You know, your mom or dad would show you all the cool places they've been, right? And if you really think about it, if you're explaining to somebody in 1991 what Instagram is, it's somebody who came to your house with a slide projector and tried to make you jealous of their life, right? So basically a push pin map is what we're doing here with Husto, which is our members can look at all the places that they've stayed, all the incredible experiences that they've had. And then they can look at the top 100 travelers to see where they've been. And of course, just like the only reason you post a picture on Instagram is to get more likes than your friend, right? You want to compete to be in that top 100 traveler area. And then you can share those experiences. So again, this idea of merging social media with an OTA. So here's some of our milestones. The company, the technology has been built. That's been done. The company's received a substantial amount of angel investment already from quite a few investors. Due diligence is performed, signing up hotels. We're getting ready to launch, and of course, exponential growth and mainstream adoption is what we've got in our future. Some additions in 2020 that are coming very, very soon is adding flights to the component so you can see all the cool places you've flown and been to. Of course, an app, which is mandatory in today's world. And further enhancing the social media component so that it's not just about seeing the top 100 travelers, but being able to communicate with each other and share experiences. So I went to the Hilton in Singapore, but tell me what other things that I should be doing in Singapore, and you can start communicating with those members a la Facebook, Instagram community. Want to give a shout out to DerbySoft. They've been fantastic in getting us set up, but of course, we are open to any kind of connections that we need to make with other hotels. We have a very diverse board of advisors. We have people in the technology world, in the hotel world, business people. Again, those are a lot of our investors. And finally, and most importantly, here's some of the comments that we've already gotten from some of the chains that we've signed up. I'd say it's fair to say we have thousands of hotels signed up. We have Cale Johnson here, who's our Director of Hotel Relations, and we could use even more hotels to sign up. So thank you so much to HEDNA for the opportunity to present to you, and leave you with this message: let's all live Husto. So thank you.